Hello Internet, so nice to see you. People have asked me if I'm gonna publish ever a book on licks, on guitar licks. And my answer has always been no. I technically have a book I wrote years ago on guitar licks, but it's not in commerce right now, it's not on sale right now. But there is a reason why I don't publish books on licks, and it's because I hate books on licks, okay? Because you cannot use them. Okay, you see, that's the thing. Ever happened to you that you learn a lick, a new lick, and you may learn it by transcribing a solo maybe, or you may learn it from a book, etc. And then you put on a backing track and try to improvise, and you try to put this lick in, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, okay? Why doesn't work? Well, there is a very simple reason, actually. It's pretty obvious when I'm going to tell you, is that lick works in the original solo. It works as part of a context, as part of a big arching structure for that specific solo. And this lick may not work exactly the same in another solo. You cannot simply take something, extirpate it from the original, okay, and then drag it and put it into another solo and expect it to work. It's not this, okay? That doesn't mean you cannot reutilize some licks. That doesn't mean that people copy each other's licks all the time. But the point is not learning the lick. The point is learning how the lick works, okay? When can you use it, and when to connect, actually how to connect it with the rest of the solo you are playing, okay? So I'm gonna show you something that you can do, okay? And this is a very simple exercise, but it grows, okay? The better you are, the more these exercises become complex and interesting. But you can do this exercise as a beginner too. So great exercise, okay? I wish I could take credit for this exercise, but it's not. I learned it from other guitar players, but it's a great exercise, okay? And we start with a simple version, okay? And later I'm going to show you something more complex. But let's start really simple. And one important thing with this exercise is simple, guys, okay? Don't do complex stuff immediately. Start simple, grow in complexity. You want to take confidence in what you're doing and get and the harder and harder stuff progressively. So here's how it works. Let's say, again, you want to learn a lick and you want to learn how to use it in your solos, okay? So what do? You take the beginning of the lick, just the beginning. So let me take a standard blues lick, okay? You guys know this, okay? This lick has been used forever and ever. I'm just bending, I'm in A minor, okay, or general A blues if you want, okay? And I'm bending this D on the third string up to an E, and then hitting the E on the fifth fret second string, A on the first string, fifth fret, okay? Look at my hands, okay? Okay, that's the idea. And then I'm pulling off this G to this E, okay? So simple lick, okay? Very common. You've heard this lick everywhere, okay? Okay, from Pink Floyd to anything else. I think there has not been a guitar player in the history of rock who has not used this lick, okay? Anyway, you take this lick, okay? What do you do with that? Well, let's take only the beginning of the lick. You take just those notes. Simple. So here's your exercise. You want to start this lick and play it slower than usual. Attention, this is absolutely key. Don't shred through it, okay? And after that, you want to continue the lick, okay? What do you mean? What do I mean with that? I mean, find something else, improvise something else that goes with that, okay? So just continue and let the lick take you somewhere. The first few times you do it, you have no idea what you're doing. That's okay. Just play a few random notes after that, okay? But that's a good place to start when you've never improvised before, okay? You just start with something that works, and then later you put some other notes, okay? So could be much simpler than that. Okay, it doesn't have to be complex. Okay, it doesn't have to be complex. Just play the first few notes and then try to continue the lick and see where this takes you. Why we are doing that? Because you see, that's what happens every time. You play your lick exactly the way you learn, but it doesn't fit the solo. Why? By doing this, starting with the beginning of the lick and going somewhere, you learn how to adapt the lick to anything you're playing, okay? Now, this is a simple version, okay? Very simple version, because this lick is very simple. Oh, and by the way, I'm playing just the first 3 notes of the lick, 1, 2, 3, okay? But you can play all the 5 notes. And then from there, you improvise the rest of the lick. So you do a continuation of the lick, essentially. Okay? Yeah, nothing hard, and take it slow and just keep going and see where this takes you. And if you don't like it, play something different, okay? The idea is to use the lick as a seed to start something else. Now, again, this is simple because the lick is simple. Let's take something more complex, okay? Let's take a lick with wider intervals, okay? That's gonna be way more fun. So I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play the A on the 6th string, then the G on the 4th string, and the C on the 3rd string, and the D on the 3rd string. I'm gonna play all those 3 notes with my index finger. I mean, if you want, you can also use the index, middle, and ring, no problem, okay? But I prefer to use my index finger. And I also like sometimes to mute this A, and then hammer on the D. That's my lick. That's my starting lick. Where do I go from there? I don't know. Bluesier. Yeah. And again, if you get overwhelmed, take it slower. I like this, but I didn't finish it the way I like. So I like this part. Yeah. Now, the fun thing about this is that since you're going to be slower than normal, you can challenge yourself in doing things you don't normally do, because, and most of us learn those scales going up and down all the time. Okay, so when you start improvising, the first thing you do is, okay, which is really not the best way to improvise. Right now, you can challenge yourself in not playing the notes that are close by, okay, but instead trying to jump around and see where this takes you, okay? So, and again, it is just fooling around. There's no expectation here of any of those licks to sound good. You are just exploring the scale pattern and see where this takes you, okay? Just to break a bit from the usual pentatonic up and down, up and down, up and down. And also, as you see, I like a lot moving position, okay? Not staying still in there. Actually, what I was playing. Oh, I like this better, okay. Yeah. Let's see this ending. No, I like this. Yeah. Yeah, that is something I would like. Later I'm gonna watch the video again and transcribe it. Okay, so everything I'm doing right now, it's improvised. I am trying new things right now in real time on video, just to show you that there is nothing wrong in playing a wrong note or two. This is not an end production thing. This is not what do I do when I am in front of the recording, in the studio and recording a solo. This is something you do to explore the fretboard by yourself, okay, when you are practicing. And this is way more fun than playing scales, okay? By the way, I'm not against scales. I'm not one of those people that says you should never learn your scales, blah, blah, blah. No, you need to learn your scales. I mean, it's kind of obvious to me, actually. Of course you need to learn your scale. Otherwise, how do you get to know your fretboard? How do you know what notes you can play and not play? Are you going to go completely by ear? Seriously, come on. And it's good to go by ear, but completely by ear. You see, that's the thing. People think that if you learn scale, you are limited to a specific set of sounds. Well, that's why you should learn more than one scale. The reality is that if you never learn scale, you're always gonna use the same 3 sounds because you never learn to listen to the other sound. Scales expand the number of notes you can use, expand the sound you can use. They don't restrict it. Okay, that's what's missing from everybody. When they tell you you should not learn scale on the guitar, flee. Okay, that's not good, not good. Okay, but that said, this is way more fun than playing scale up and down, and that's the other thing. You shouldn't play scale up and down for a long time. In fact, not even for a short time. Play scale up and down a few times, then make music with them. That's a good way to make music with them, okay? So, whenever you learn a lick, take the beginning of the lick, or even take the whole lick as long as it's not too long, and try to continue, okay? And again, play it super slow. Don't play it at the normal speed. Play super slow, try to continue and see where this takes you, okay? And that's a great way to, 1, actually learn those licks, 2, develop your own style, and 3, eventually feel more confident in using those things in real life and in solos, okay? So that's what we do. Now, as I said, it's important to learn your scales, so if you never learn your scale, if you want to see how to see all these scales all around the fretboard, have a nice, compact, economic way of seeing the fretboard so that you don't have to think about it too much. If you want to see a practical way to understand all the scale on your guitar, well, it happens that I have a course called Master of the Modes, which is a complete course on modes done by guitar player for guitar players. We go from scratch, and even if you're advanced, the first few lessons really clean up all your knowledge and make sure that you know everything and there are no gaps in your knowledge. And if you're a beginner, that's great because we start from scratch, so you learn everything. There's no stone left unturned. And then by doing all those exercises, by playing the scales in that way, and again, especially by doing all the exercises in this course, you get to master your scales and modes in a musical way so that you can actually use them in real music. Now, if you like this video, if I told you something useful, then smash that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and by the way, click on notification because YouTube is not gonna warn you about anything. I'm gonna tell you that I'm putting up a new videos if you don't click on the notification. And interestingly enough, sometimes, even when you click on notification, they're not telling you, okay? So if you really want to have every notification from this channel, go on my website, musictheoryforguitar.com, and subscribe to the mailing list so you are sure to not miss any of my videos. But, I mean, that's if you want to have every one of my videos, you can do that. And anyway, this is Tommaso Ziglia on musictheoryforguitar.com, and until next time, enjoy!